Hi. So it's Sunday morning, and still got sleep in my eyes, but I got up this morning, and for the last week or so, I've been watching Matt Colville's running the game on YouTube, and as an old time DM, it really is speaking to me, and I'm really glad he put this series together for starting DMs because it's actually really opened some stuff up and reminded me of a few of the things that I really liked about the hobby when I first got into it. Most specifically, kind of opening up your game world. I've often run, for the longest time, really well developed campaign settings of my own devising, and often far too well calculated and formulated. And I feel like after listening to him, that I've been doing myself a bit of a detriment because I think I may have been killing some of the thing that made it so cool when I first started out. And to illustrate this, I've got a bit of an example from my newest game. I'm kind of getting rolling up for fifth edition. I haven't played fifth edition yet. Decided I'd kick it off with a new campaign setting, and in the spirit of kind of trying to get back to those roots, I went ahead and I drew out a couple of maps, just to give a general idea, but I didn't have a lot decided. I developed a few key points for the basic history of the realm, and then put it out to my players. And I'm just now starting to get them to trickle in and tell me what kind of characters that they're developing for the setting. And one of the caveats that I set for myself when I first started up was really, let's not ban anything from the core rules. Now, this for me is really a tricky thing because in the past I've really tended to run games that marginalized or did away with completely some of the classes and races that I didn't like, that didn't speak to me. And I think as a DM, when you're creating heavily thematic worlds, that works, but it also kills some of the magic. So, for example, I've never been a fan of halflings or gnomes, and so I've always worked this out of my campaigns. When 4th edition came around and introduced tieflings and dragonborn, kind of rolled my eyes and kind of groaned, because to me they seemed like very high fantasy, almost panderingly cool races. I mean, I remember when tieflings came out during Planescape and all that, and so, they weren't new to me. But to make them a regular part of the world just seemed really odd. So this time around, I decided I wasn't going to do away with any of that. So that was out on the table. So I hadn't decided where everything was, but if somebody wanted to play something, we would find a place for it. So I haven't had those two races come up, although there has been a nod towards the Dragonborn, and so there is a place for them in the setting that I've created on one of my maps, but it hasn't been detailed or really fully developed. So going back to the central area, which is the Kingdom of Aerolith, Aerolith is kingdom is a loose title. So basically, in short, the history was there was this great kingdom. It was brought down by the Red King. The Red King was then defeated, and now it exists as a new combination of kingdoms, all governed by the Grand Vassal. And the Grand Vassal is the original page boy of the Red King who managed to find a way to defeat him, and he now lives as the Grand Vassal. He sees himself as the ultimate servant to the land and the kingdoms of Aerolith. So that is where I am starting. So we're still living within extended memory of the Red King, a couple of generations since. So it's the land has healed itself, and he's still kind of a vague boogeyman memory. So anyways, that's where we started. So going from there, my first player to really come up with a solid character concept came to me and said, I would like to play a duelist. Okay, cool, a fighter. A duelist, pretty easy to fit into a fighter. And he's like, and I decided that for my character, he has suspicions that the Red King came out of his order of duelists. His sort of not secret society, but a society of duelists who are swordsmen and experts at blade play and all of that. So cool. So he's playing off my universe. He's playing like he's getting off the vibe. Just that little touch of the Red King. The Red King is not really intended to be central to the campaign. He's just there more as motivator for setting. You know, kind of a settings point. So as we start talking, he's like, you know, he's developing his character, and we're kind of forming this group of duelists, which was nothing that I had set up for the campaign, but now he has now added to my open campaign. So in the spirit of openness, this is going well. So as we're talking, I'm like, well, I've got this place. You know, where are your duelists from? He's like, I don't know. Make a suggestion. So I'm saying, well, there is, out of all of the kingdoms of Aerolith, there's one small kingdom. It's basically a little more than a city-state, called Camwar. It's up in the northwest corner of Aerolith, and it just so happens to be nearest the seat of power of the former Red King. So now this ties into his character's theory that the Red King rose from the Order of Swordsmen. The Swordsmen are now from Camwar, and this is formulating into an even cooler thing, because now I've got this Order of Swordsmen, these duelists from Camwar. We now have this concept that there are other schools of swordplay and duelists throughout throughout Aerolith, and that somehow there is a suspicion amongst the people of Aerolith that the Red King maybe came from Camwar, and this character believes that extends to going so far as maybe the Red King rose from the ranks of his order. Now, he doesn't know. It's not really important to the main campaign that I've laid out, but it gives his character a focus. And all of that is created by interplay between myself and the player, and was nothing that was developed in the setting other than the fact that there was a Red King, and he was bad. And that was it. So, this is a serious win for that open-mindedness that I had placed forefront in my mind when I was going to set up this campaign. You know, I didn't nixed anything. So far, I haven't had a cause to, and, you know, right now I've already got one character and a player who have helped grow my world and come up with a pretty solid character concept. So, again, just kind of wanted to put this video together because it's better spoken and to show the enjoyment and the excitement. You know, shout out to Matt Colville for his cool series running the game. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you're new, if you're an old DM, watch it too. And to all my friends who are old DMs, try opening up a bit. I mean, I've talked to a lot of guys who have really cool campaign settings, and they're really doing some great work developing these awesomely intricate settings. But I would ask a question of them: are we doing ourselves a favor, or are we actually hurting ourselves as DMs by writing these really tightly knit, overly constructed settings? So, I'll probably do some more videos after this develops, but it was on my mind. I've been having a fun time talking to my family and some other friends about it and developing this with the player. But, so now, let's see what comes next when I have a chance to talk to some of the other players and they start to put together their character ideas. Anyways, thanks a lot for listening to me yammer. Thanks again to Matt Colville and running the game, and have a great one. Thank you.